Hey, good afternoon. We are getting ready to do a podcast review of the 20th anniversary.
Hey, pass me a beer.
And I was wondering, we can't find anything.
Look, at least promise me you won't drink. Alcohol always leads to trouble.
I wondered if you guys could tell me what the ABV and IBU is.
Hey, who wants to play Drink the Beer?
Right here.
You win!
All right, what do I win?
Another beer!
Yeah, we're not finding anything online on it.
Just have a cup of coffee.
There it is.
No, nothing on the bottle.
Yeah, there's nothing on the bottle.
Coffee?
Beer.
So Chad's on the phone right now with Central
Could you
Waters
text it to me?
trying to get the information.
Okay.
I'd kill for a beer.
Chad.
Alack.
Cheap beer and a sympathetic ear. Step right up.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and start recording. And if you find it, in the next half hour, 45 minutes, something like that, that would be perfect. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Well, the tap room doesn't even know. Hey, everybody. It's Chad from the Beard Hops podcast. I am back in studio with Adam today. Hi, Adam.
I'm right here. Hi.
We're going to do a couple of podcasts today, and the first one we're going to do is called the Central Waters 20th Anniversary XX. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Not positive, but this is a really, this is a really interesting bottle that we're going to try today because there is very, very, very limited information on this.
It's so limited that Chad just got off the phone with Central Waters. He called them directly to try and find out what's up with this beer because on the bottle there's no ABV, there's no IBUs, there's really literally, it's hard to see on here, but there's literally, that's it. So
it's a tiny little label.
Warning, where it's from, that it's aged in oak, and how much it is, and then that's it though, and it's made in Amherst, Wisconsin. So
yeah, so hopefully the tap room, the brewery will text me while we're recording this, and we'll get that missing piece of info.
Yeah, because we've been looking all over the inner tubes for this. What we do know is that it is a blend of beer, so similar to the Cuvée by Three Sheeps that we've been ranting and raving and love so much. It is a blend of beers from the past year, right, for the 20th.
Well, it's got to be, not from the past year, because I think it's aged for 2 years. So it's a blend from at least probably 3 years ago would be my guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. But,
and again, we apologize for not having a full amount of regular information on this that we would normally have. But, hey, this one will be a surprise all around, I think. I think it's going to be delicious. The reviews are very good on it. There's just no real information on exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, even Untapped has no ABV, no IBU. It's been checked in a total of 1,674 times. And it has an average of 4.63. So it's got a really, really good average. Real quickly, like I said, the bottle, nothing really there. Of course, they have their standard lid cap there, so can open this thing.
Open it up and pour your half, just half, and then pour my half. So this was just released at a special release party, tap room only, on draft, and that was the only place you could actually get this bottle.
Sniff.
Oh, yeah, that's very. It's bourbony. We did find that this is going to be somewhat similar to the Brasserie Noire from Goose Island.
It looks a lot like it, actually.
It's pouring very nicely. Sorry, we're not getting the pour on the camera here, but it does pour nicely. It's fizzy like a Coke or Coca-Cola or.
It does have a Brasserie Noire Coca-Cola style.
I'm trying to be even here because. Well, Gina's sip will be. I think my glass is a little more full, so Gina's sip will be out of this one.
So the head on this one, it's off color, tight bubbles. It really does look like a cola head.
Yeah,
really.
I've got a variety of bubble sizes. They're all pretty tight. They're not stout or porter tight, and the head is almost gone.
The smell is. I mean, the head on mine is completely gone.
Yeah.
And all I'm smelling is bourbon right now.
I got chocolate and bourbon, mainly bourbon, but I can smell some chocolate.
Yeah, there's a little chocolate in there. Well, and you cannot see through this at all. Black.
Yeah, no reason for a light test because it's pretty bright in here.
Right, it's pretty bright in here. Yeah, all right, let's drink this thing.
It is somewhat similar to Brasserie Noir. Now we haven't sampled Brasserie Noir. Hi, Gina. You want to try it?
Try it. You can talk to people.
Yeah, we're
recording right now. Did you have the cuvee?
Yeah, I did.
No, you can't have any.
Their daughter's here. She's here to sample some apple juice.
That's really good.
I'm gonna get on the mic and say that so people can hear you. Yes, come on.
That's really good, guys.
What do you think?
It's malty.
Yes.
Malty, yeah.
It is malty.
Smooth. What are those other spices in there? Is this barrel aged bourbon?
It is.
Yeah.
It is barrel aged bourbon. She asked that question.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm kind of getting the sense for these now. It's really good.
Our amateur, she's becoming pretty good at this thing.
Well, that's the big one. Thanks for the taste, guys. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Now, on Untapped, they say a similar beer would be the Brasserie Noir from Goose Island, which I thought we had. I thought I had some when we were down there.
Yes, we did. That's what we started with.
But I don't remember what it tastes like anymore. So
it tastes kind of like this. This actually tastes a little more carbonated than the Brasserie Noir, but the flavor is very, very, very similar. It's very chocolatey. It's got bourbon for sure, all over the place, front, middle,
bourbon
back
for sure. I mean, I have bourbon, all over, everywhere.
The chocolate hits me about halfway through the sip and stays towards the end along with the bourbon. So it's like a chocolate bourbon to me.
Yep. But the flavor doesn't stay very long. Like once it's washed down, it's pretty much
That's
gone.
true. That's true.
Like it doesn't like the cuvee, some of the other ones we've had, the barrel aged, the bourbon will kind of last for a little bit and you get the aftertaste. But this, it's like
it doesn't sit that long.
Yeah.
I can still feel the tingle of the bourbon, but the taste goes away.
You can feel the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's delicious. I would yeesh.
I think it's really good. I don't know. Hang on.
I'll give it a 4 right off the bat. And I won't go any higher than that right away until we get through. I mean, I might go higher, I don't know, but I think it'll stay a solid 4. And I'm not going to go any higher than that off the bat just because compared to some other blends that we've had from Three Sheeps especially. So I would compare this. I think the closest thing I compare it to is the Brasserie Noir. Now, I don't know that Brasserie Noir is an actual blend, though. That's just a imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels.
I will look. It's a good point. I don't actually.
Yeah, so we'll find that out. So this being a blend.
Nice. That was good.
This being a blend, I don't want to compare it to a regular imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels. I wish we knew what the blend was.
So real quickly, Brasserie Noir is a barrel-aged imperial stout aged in wet Cabernet barrels.
Okay.
So you really can't compare because that's bourbon. This is
right.
Cab. So yeah, there's really
it is interesting.
It's not blended.
It is interesting the flavor being fairly similar between the two, but the Brasserie Noir is way sweeter.
Right, because the Cab, it's definitely going to be. Yeah, it's definitely sweeter for sure.
So comparing this to the only other two blends that I've had being the Three Sheeps 2017 and 2018.
Mhm.
I can't rate it any higher than a 4 because those I did like those better. This is very, very good though. I'll start with a 4.
Yeah, I'm starting at a 3.5. But I guess it's kind of good that I just had Cuvée yesterday. I had Cuvée 17 yesterday.
Cuvée.
Whatever. I'm pronouncing it how I want to. Because I think there's just so much more flavor to Cuvée.
Yes.
18 and 17.
Yes, I totally.
Although it's not really fair to do it to 17 because that's also in wine barrels. So if we're talking
Mostly in wine barrels.
yeah, so we're doing 18. The flavor is a lot better to me from the Three Sheeps Cuvée.
Yeah.
But this is good. Absolutely, it's good.
Yeah,
So.
it is really. Oh, the brewery just texted me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we have an ABV at 13.5. So that's good. That's up there. They never did an IBU calculation though.
Yeah.
So
I figured.
And on these limited releases, I don't blame a brewery for not doing that. There's not that much of it out there. It does have some bitterness to it, which in any good imperial stout, anything in this category should have some decent bitterness to it, meaning I would say 55 or higher, 55 to 75, somewhere in that range would probably, I would guess, where this one would calculate. But, the way we've talked about IBUs before, they don't matter. Who really knows? And it doesn't really, you're right, it doesn't really matter.
Where's Jake when you need a rant?
I know, right? I know. So thank you for Central Waters, to Central Waters for texting me that information while we're doing the podcast. I'm going to message them back real quick.
Yeah, we had just because we couldn't find any information online about this beer. It was actually pretty hard to find. And so Chad just like, well, I'm just going to call him. So we did call and ask, and they're nice enough to text us back. We told them we were doing a podcast, told them we were going on the air here, so they were nice enough to text back. So 13.5. 13.5. I mean, that's good.
It's they really don't, for Imperial Stouts aged in anything, they really don't get much stronger than that. Some of them can get up in the 14, 15, 16 range, but most of them are typically in the 11 to 13 or so range.
So now this one, we didn't cool at all. This one it was room temperature when we poured.
Yep.
So I don't know. So really the only change that will happen as we drink this is really to our palates.
Yeah.
Because temperature really is not going to change. It's just how our palates change to it. So
yeah. And we notice, when temperature changes, we have found that we've noticed some significant changes. That happened the other night with a 120 from Dogfish Head.
Absolutely. And if you haven't heard that one, definitely go check that out. Dogfish Head 120. Won't give the show away, but I will say that in our time reviewing beers, we have never started farther apart. That was the first time we started very far apart in our thoughts on a beer. So I won't tell you how it ended. You got to go find out for yourself, but we'll link below to that review. It's good. Just I don't think it has as much flavor.
Yeah. I think, but as I've said in the past, a beer that reaches that 4+ category for me is an exceptional beer. Right. So even though I can't rate it higher than a 4 right off the bat here, it's still something that's truly, truly exceptional for me. You gave the average rating on Untapped, right?
I did 4.63. Yeah.
The only description we've really been able to find on this beer is from Untapped.
I have no idea where they got it from because I can't find it anywhere else.
So I don't know if this was on their website.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
When you go into their specialty beers or whatever it is, their special release beers, they have year 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They don't have year 20 up there yet. And we should say that this was just released a few weeks ago.
January 27th.
January 27th, yeah. So it's not like it's not even a month old yet.
Yeah, it was just added to Untapped on the 26th. They had the release party for it on the 27th. I think Adam mentioned this was a tap room only.
I don't think I actually mentioned that.
Okay, so Central Waters had a party for this, a release party. it was only available to those that bought tickets to go to this party, which I don't know how much tickets were, but I'm sure it was a really, really good party, and you got it on draft, and they were also selling bottles at the party only. Now I got this one again through my friend Chris at Ridgeview Liquors.
You're the best, Chris.
Ridgeview has been really, really good to me as far as picking up some really good, interesting beers that I wouldn't probably normally get. I won't give away where they're getting some of this stuff because it's not necessarily on the shelves either. So Chris has been great to get some of these specialties, and this one really is truly a specialty beer because
you can't get it unless you were there,
and unless you were there, or you're a part of a share group, or if you're in a bottle trading group, you're not going to get this.
Yeah, so it was. Again, thank you so much to Ridgeview and Chris. Really appreciate it for us, being able to try this. And yeah, there's really not a ton. We usually sit down and we try to really review and get good information about the beer before we start these things so we can give that to you guys. But this one was just, there was nothing there. Search after search after search. I'm coming up with nothing except for Untapped, previous years on Rate Beer, and people trying to sell this thing for like $50 now.
Yeah.
On some beer selling websites. That's really all I could find. So
yeah. So while we drink this beer, again, we've given you basically the information that we know about it.
Yeah.
So we do want to talk about Central Waters Brewing Company in general and kind of tell you, where they're at, what kind of other beers they do. Cause it's a really cool place.
Yep.
They're in Amherst, Wisconsin. I've been to the tap room to the brewery one time. I have not done a tour or anything there, but the tap room is the tap room, brew pub, whatever they call it. Tap room, I think is what they actually call it. It has a really cool setup. The bar is kind of in the middle of their building. It's a brand new building. They just built it. I just opened it. I want to say early 2017, something like that. I could be wrong within a few months, but it's a new facility. The bar is set up in the middle. There are tables for
there we go.
Groups.
I shared their website right there.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, you can see the bar is in the middle there, and behind it is the actual brewing facility.
Yeah, can't really tell from this picture, but
the bar is actually a little bit different compared to that picture. There's wings that go off of the bar. They've expanded it just a little bit, but that is the bar. I mean, that's what it looks like. So. Really cool place, Amherst, Wisconsin. They've been around for
96, I think it was.
Yeah, I was going to say about 20 years, I thought.
Yeah, so in 96, two friends, Mike and Jerome, bought an old brick building on Highway 10 in Junction City, Wisconsin. The building was built around 1920, originally Model A Ford dealership. Oh, that's pretty cool. Mike and Jerome began production using their own home brewing recipes like we see pretty much all the time anymore. And then over the next 2 years, thoroughly started cleaning and restoring that building. They got some old, looks like dairy equipment, which is what a lot of breweries do. A lot of dairy equipment they can clean and repurpose for brewing. So that's how they started in 96. Trying to see. They're also, one thing I do like about them, very big on the renewable energy front as well. They're trying to be, they're committed to being one of the most environmentally sustainable breweries in the nation. So that's really
this
cool.
This is actually, I think, kind of becoming a trend among breweries. We talked about Three Floyds?
No, I didn't think it was Three Floyds.
Well, Three Floyds is building that new facility.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Oh, it was Sierra Nevada.
Yes, they use the
solar panels and generators, and yeah, they're very, very eco-friendly. I just did a quick review the other day from Capital Brewing over in Middleton, Wisconsin. They're very eco-friendly. So Central Waters, I think it's just a great thing that the breweries are really taking note to becoming,
especially how much resources they use. I mean, they use so much energy, with the heating. They use so much water.
Yeah.
So much water. So on their website, you can see centralwaters.com/about/renewable energy. They have two large solar arrays One is 1,000 square foot solar thermal hot water array. System provides hot water to heat our 12,500 square foot facility. Also provides preheated water to the brew house. So every beer we make is brewed using solar heated water. So that's great. We also have a 20,000 watt photovoltaic array producing roughly 20% of our energy needs annually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. They also use T8 fluorescent lighting with motion detection switches throughout the brewery, so that will cut down energy there. All these efforts have garnered us recognition as one of the greenest breweries. Oh, that's very, very cool.
Oh, it's did you mention the Green Masters program?
Nope. You go ahead.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
no, I think that was just past where you were talking about there.
Yeah, I didn't go all the way down.
The first. So Central Waters is the first brewery granted entrance into the state of Wisconsin's Green Tier program, recognizing businesses that are sound environmental stewards, and they're currently the only brewery in the state's Green Masters program.
Huh. That's really
awesome.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
They also do have they're philanthropic as well. They have a whole donation request process you can do. They try to give to various charities and donate. So that's kind of cool too. So they're very involved in the community, very environmentally sound. So that is really cool. That's another one. Put that on the list for we have to visit.
I would love to go back here and actually do the tour because
right. Yeah.
One thing that on their homepage, the picture on their homepage is that's got to be the most barrels I've seen out of a small.
Yeah. Have you looked at? Well, no. So there's an article by Paste magazine. I guess we can talk about that right now, real quick.
Yeah.
The article was done on March 6th of 2017, so it's not really old at all. The article basically says Central Waters has become a behemoth, but become a barrel aging behemoth. Let me share you guys can see on.
Yeah, it's amazing. We haven't been to Founders, and Founders does a lot of barrel aging, but this picture.
Man, look at those barrels.
That's a lot of barrels.
So if you're listening to this on the podcast, we'll add this picture. If you go to our website, we'll add this picture to the show notes so you can see this picture that we're talking about and the article so you can read the article too. But basically, the picture on the Paste Magazine article is a picture of their barrel house. And it is massive. At least in this shot, it looks like a huge warehouse, but there's so many barrels. We were just at Three Sheeps. We saw their barrel house. This is nothing. The Three Sheeps barrel house was like,
it was impressive.
It was a small compared to what we're seeing here.
This has got to be 1,000 plus barrels.
It's pretty impressive.
So Central Waters started doing barrel aging back in 2001, so they're fairly experienced at it. They actually have a barrel aged series, and I think it was episode number 2 that we did.
Right.
For Central Waters Bourbon Barrel Stout. I think that's what it was. I don't know. I think it was number 2. We're not numbering the episodes anymore, but it was an early one.
Well, you see that they stand here. They say they started doing barrel aging in 2001. We never dreamed it would take up to 30% of our volume.
Yeah, so they're known as a barrel aging brewery in Wisconsin.
Central Waters has the 4th or 5th largest stock of oak barrels in the country. The only other breweries that match or exceed them: Goose Island, New Holland, Firestone Walker, and Founders.
There you go. So that's why I was saying we haven't been to Founders, and I was gonna say Founders has to have a massive amount, but
yeah, at Goose Island we didn't see the barrels, but we were in there.
Saw the building.
We saw the buildings. that block.
Yeah, that's
was
true. The buildings.
Yeah, it was several warehouses. I don't know exactly how many were there, but according to Eric, our resident Goose Island professor, there was a lot of barrels there. So that's.
So before you go too far here, the next sentence is actually quite mind-blowing.
Go ahead.
When you consider that Central Waters is the 4th or 5th largest stock of oak barrels in the country, behind the 4 that Adam just mentioned, You just took the article.
I forgot you were looking at it. All right, fine. Hang on a second.
No, I'll go to mine.
Oh,
I'll go.
there you go. There you go. Jeez. Trying to change it up a little bit.
Okay, so the company, Central Waters. Let's see. Central Waters and Founders have the same number of oak casks. Founders brews 200,000 barrels per year, which this is a year-old stat. It's probably more than that. Central Waters only brews 15,000 barrels a year total, and they've got the fourth or fifth largest stock of oak barrels, oak aged barrels.
That is nuts.
That's crazy. So yeah, to say they're heavy in barrel aging, I'd say that's an understatement.
So yeah, they go through and they also say that they started the barrel aging program with just a handful of bourbon barrels. So they made the beer, they put it out, they sold every drop they had. Every bit of the profit that they made went back. We made off of that beer though was reinvested back into the barrel program. We've been doing that for 15 years. So for 15 years they've been making barrel aged beers, selling every drop of barrel aged beers that they make, and then taking that money and just reinvesting it back into the barrel age program. I'm assuming that's talking about buying barrels, buying places to store the barrels. That's just that's crazy. And these barrels, when you get so many, probably a lot of your cost is coming from just rent to pay for the warehousing.
Yeah.
And then that warehousing has to be temperature controlled. It can't get too cold.
They actually, in their new facility, I believe they've got their own facility. They built a warehouse facility.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's
got to be temperature controlled because up there in Wisconsin it gets cold, and if it gets cold, then the fermentation is going to stop.
Yep. And it does it gets hot in the summertime. It's not terrible in central to northern Wisconsin in the summertime, but it can get really hot
And humid
certain days, not for extended periods of time, but temperature control is important.
All right, are you halfway? I'm almost.
Oh yeah, I would say I'm definitely halfway.
Look at you.
They have a lot of beers. What's where are you thinking halfway? What's your?
Well, I'm still amazed at how the carbonation. You know what I mean?
I didn't think it would be as carbonated as it is because the head disappeared so quickly.
Right, but this is not the first time we've seen that. There was another beer with the exact same thing where the head disappeared quickly, but you still feel the carbonation. And I think that's a lot like a Coke, right?
Yeah.
Or a soda or a pop, whatever you call it, because the head on a soda doesn't stay around,
right? But
you still taste it. So
carbonated, and swirling it around doesn't do anything.
No,
I don't know if I'm on the video feed right now, but
yeah, there's nothing really there when you
just a few little bubbles stay on the side of the glass, but there's nothing. There's no head that comes back.
Mm-mm. Now, I will say that for me right now, I am tasting more coffee on the back.
Okay.
There's a coffee aftertaste.
I can taste that.
It's kind of sticking around.
I'm heavier on the chocolate in an overall flavor, but I do get coffee.
It could be almost a dark chocolate, where I think sometimes dark chocolate does have a hint of coffee, the bitterness of coffee to it. That could be what I'm tasting too.
Yep.
What I start with 3.5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm staying at 3.5 right now. It's nothing that it hasn't really. I mean, again, we said it's already room temperature. We didn't think it's going to change a whole lot, just how our palate changes.
Yeah, as you get used to the bourbony flavor. I mean, it's 13.5 ABV, so it's up there. You got a little bit of a adjustment to make when you're drinking this.
And what's funny, I'll be honest with you, it's weird to even say that now after having Dogfish Head 120.
Yeah,
because with that one, the initial shock of it was just like, holy crap,
right, and that's an 18% beer.
18%, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that, that's I kind of feel like that's kind of a new thing now. That as we drink some of these high ABV beers, that's something to think about as you drink it. Is the shock of the ABV, and
the alcohol kind of takes a background instead of the foreground.
Right, but in the beginning it's a foreground, but then it's kind of sits back, and really makes for an agreeable overall experience, I think, for the beer. So I'm going to stick with a 4 halfway through. I think that's, for me, I don't have any reason to go up or down. It's just, it's very, very similar to the way it started off. So It's a really, it's a good. Some of these beers that we rate really high are not necessarily beers you just want to pour a glass and drink it. This is one I think that you pour it and you plan to enjoy it for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a good, this is a good, I can see this beer being good for just hanging out with your buddies or friends, sipping it while you're just
late night sipping, hanging out,
chilling, talking, whatever. Yeah, definitely. It's good. Yeah.
This isn't one where you sit down and play cards and drink it unknowing not knowing how fast you're actually drinking it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, it's good to just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. So I started to mention that had some basso rotundo to it.
You're welcome.
I started to mention the beers that they have.
Oh yeah, you did.
They've got 787, not 787.
Wow.
7 year-round beers. And I think I've had most of those. Let me go back here. I have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this will be the sixth one from Central Waters. I honestly don't know which ones. I think 4 of the 5 are.
You're talking about the year-round.
Year-rounds. Yeah.
I don't think I've had any of these.
So I've had Satin Solitude Stout. I've had their Pale Ale. I've had the Red Ale. 2 different red ales actually from them. One's considered an American Amber / red. I can't even say the name of this one. It's a year round. Do you want to try to say that one?
The Red Ale.
Oikons. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna try that one.
I think when I was there, I asked them how to pronounce this, and the guy that was tending bar said it. I mean, obviously they know how to say it.
They say it all the time.
And I have no idea what he said though. It looks like that's what it is. Wisconsin, like Wisconsin. Wisconsin. I don't know.
It's an Algonquin word for Wisconsin River. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then they have their seasonals here, which 1, 2, 3. There's 4 there.
I haven't had any of those.
Brewery Reserve series, which we've had the bourbon barrel stout. I think it was our first one, wasn't it? Our first or second show was it?
Yeah, it was early. Our first show was Oso's Night Rain. I remember.
I really want to try that Scotch ale.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't even know they had the Scotch ale down there. I want that. I gotta look for that one.
That would be. Oh, they got a barley one too.
Yeah, I saw that too. We'll look for those.
Do I smell a trip to Amherst?
Specialty releases, which is they just release them every now and then, I guess.
Well, let's click on it.
I am clicked on it. It's on the screen.
Let's see.
Everybody can see it if you're watching on YouTube.
It does not say what specialty releases are, but I'm guessing that those are ones that they just they may not tell you when they're going to release them or when they're going to do them. I
actually saw the Space Ghost at Beer Bazaar yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. Imperial Stout with chili peppers. I haven't yet to try a beer with peppers in it, although I know there are several beers out there that do it. That might be interesting. When they had a Beer Bazaar yesterday, yeah, space is full of mystery, darkness, and the heat of 1,000 suns. Don't fear the heat. That's their Space Ghost Imperial Stout. All right. Then they have their cellar sessions. Or do you want to talk about that a little more?
No, go ahead.
The cellar sessions, which I guess this is a part of.
I would think it has to be. It's not listed.
Could have all the other numbers up here, 15, 17, 17, 18, 19, 14's up there. So.
Yep. Yeah, so this has to be coming to this list.
Yeah, so it's got to be at some point get updated.
The cellar sessions.
And that's really it. Then they have their production schedule, which is that up to date?
And we say that's really it. That's 32 beers.
I know.
So that's a lot for a 15,000 barrel company.
That is a lot. That's a lot of beers.
And I just went to look at their production schedule. I forgot they don't have their 18 production schedule out.
Nobody does. Remember we talked about that too.
I know. I don't understand that.
18 production schedule.
That's right. Because you were like, it's only February.
Jokingly, because what the heck? Yeah.
We want to know what's coming, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. We do. Central Waters.
So Central Waters has they've got a Facebook page.
It looks like their Facebook page is the most updated location.
Yes.
Much more than their website.
Yes. So they're on Facebook. They're on Twitter at CW Brewing. I'm going to follow them right now. It's a cool place. I mean, if we get a chance to go there, I would, if we go there, we would almost need to make a long day or a weekend of it, because we could do Central Waters, we could do Stevens Point or Point Brewing, which is right near there, and then we could do Oso's.
Oso's is up there too?
They're all within probably 15 miles of each other.
That could be a weekend trip then, eh?
Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Is where these are all located around Stevens Point.
It definitely looks like a good place to go.
Oh, I guess I already was following them on Twitter. I accidentally unfollowed them and then refollowed them right away. Hopefully I don't notice that. On Twitter, they say they are award-winning, solar-powered, independent craft beer brewed and bottled in Amherst, Wisconsin. Do good, have fun, drink beer, ale, sun, earth, and sky. That's cool. I like it.
I do like that. That is very cool there. I need to catch up. You're drinking faster than me. Damn it.
I got to pee soon, so I'm drinking quick.
Yeah. That's really, it's cool that they have such a large barrel program. Barreling's not really getting, it has been, but it seems like it's becoming even bigger. Even though when we've talked about what's to come, a lot of people would say, well, sours, right? We talked about that. Lagers, lower ABV, but you're not going to get lower ABV when you barrel age this stuff.
No, it's going to go up, but it is interesting. I kind of feel like, from what we've seen early in this year anyway, is the barrel age stuff is really, really popular. And the sours actually are harder to find. I mean, I know it's not a real popular brew style yet, so they might get easier to find. But every time I go into the liquor store to find some new sour, I struggle to find. Yeah, I don't remember if I bought a variety 6-pack or 12-pack the other day, but I think I brought home one new sour that I haven't had before.
Yeah, I think the sours are going to increase in popularity, large in part because they're getting better. Yeah. Because I remember the first sours I had were just sour but no flavor, right? But then a lot of these sours, like the one from Illinois, the Una Annie.
From Distill.
Yeah, no, Una Annie's the brewery. And,
yeah.
Every one of their sours I've had has been really good. But you're right; they don't take up a large portion of the shelf space in the craft brewer section.
Yeah, they're just hard to find, and you really got to be looking at labels.
Or you got to ask, hey, where are you putting these sours? But I like them. Definitely like them. I mean, if you look at our quick reviews, I've done one sour so far, but I got 2 more sours coming up on quick reviews. And if you don't know what quick reviews are, hey, good time to plug it. Quick reviews.
Excellent segue.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm professional at this. Quick reviews. We do these long format podcasts that you're hearing right now, hour and a half long, when we can actually find information on the beer. This one might be shorter. But then during the week, we do quick reviews, and those are on our YouTube page where you can go there and listen and see. We talk a lot more. We talk about the beer, not as much about the brewery, but we talk much more about the beer, the flavor, and everything, and we give it a quick rating. Basically, what we do here, just like the first part of our show where we give it a rating up front, that's our quick reviews. You always have to go find our Untaps to figure out what we actually finally end up rating the beer. But if you want to check those out, maybe the long ones aren't your format, check it out. We
got something for you.
We got it for you. We got your candy, baby.
I was just looking at their beer list to see if they have any sours. They don't at this point. So, it may be coming there, but obviously with the amount of barrels they have, with 15,000 barrel capacity per year, they're always going to be heavy on the barrel aging stuff. So,
well, also it's more like pick your lane, right? Pick what you're good at and go with it.
Yeah, not every
good at the barrel aged. Fuck the sours.
I know, not every brewery has to do every style.
No, exactly.
And I actually kind of respect that. If
right, I mean, if you know what you're good at, and the barrels are making you the money, ride that thing
Stick
until
with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're known for. So
You don't have to do sours. I mean,
if you do, I'm gonna try it
Yeah.
for sure. But I love what they're doing.
There's barrel aged sours. You can try some of that too.
Yep, you're right.
So,
You're right.
I just finished mine. Where's my camera? I moved my camera. There's my camera. I just finished mine. I think for me at the end of this, it's very good. It's very warming.
I'm empty as well.
That 13% is nice.
Yeah.
I think for me, for my final rate, I'm going to go to 3.75.
Okay.
It is good.
Yeah.
Very delicious. If you can find it, which I don't know that really you can.
I mean, unless you find somebody to trade with that hasn't drank it yet.
Yeah. Or you're there because they have it on tap at the tap house.
They do still have it on tap at the tap house. That's true. We just saw somebody checked it in today, right?
15 hours ago, they checked it out on tap.
Last night. Okay,
yeah, last
so
night at the tap house. So
there was a check-in. So it is still available for sure at the tap room. I'll stick with 4 all the way through. No temperature change at all. At 13.5 ABV, there was a little bit of an alcohol. I mean, I won't call it a shock, but in the beginning, you could taste it. Going through it, it didn't really change that much. So I can't change my rating. I'll stick.
I mean, you definitely feel the warmth of the alcohol when you're drinking it. You know,
well, sure.
It's not like, it's not like you didn't hit that. So
yeah. So we got a little bit closer in our final ratings, as it seems to typically happen. It's good stuff. Good job, Central Waters.
It's good.
I liked it.
Good. But now that I've actually learned a little bit more about Central Waters, I am looking forward to finding more of their barrel aged stuff. I mean, I want that Scotch ale. I want that barrel aged.
Yeah, and I will. I don't know what you can get down here. I don't know what their distributorship is like, but I know at Ridgeview they've got a pretty decent amount of shelf space, and I'll pick up as much of it as I can the next time I go there, and either do a quick review or save some for you, and we can do another
if you
show.
Get that Scotch ale, you better give me some. It's just not.
Central Waters did text back to say after they texted me the IBU or the ABVs. I mean, I told them, awesome, thank you so much, perfect timing. This is really good, and they texted back immediately, glad to help. So good on you for helping us out during the podcast today. Appreciate the text messages. I'm glad you guys were able to take my phone call and get us some information on it. So
it's always nice when brewers are willing and able to help out. And I've never come across a craft brewer that's not. So
yeah, they're all good people.
Any final thoughts here, Chad, as we wrap this one up?
Final thought would be excellent beer to sip. Really, really good beer, a good blend. I didn't like it as much as the Three Sheeps, but it's still 4 is an excellent beer. We're not ever going to be able to try the older stuff, I don't think.
Right.
Even in a bottle share program or trade, I highly doubt anybody's got any of the older stuff left. Left.
Of the older one of these?
No, like the 17, 18, 19, 14, 14 stuff
gotcha.
is probably, I would guess, is long gone. If somebody has it and you want to
donate it to the cause,
or perhaps propose a trade, we do have some bottles that we could potentially let go, maybe. But I really enjoyed this, and it just makes me look forward to more of their barrel aging program and see what they can come up with next year for 21.
Yep, absolutely. So thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us for this episode of the Bearded Hops podcast. If you want to check any of our other stuff out, beardedhops.com/find us is where you can find us. I like that.
How clever we were.
That was great. Again, you can also find we have quick reviews 3 or 4 times a week, and check those out on the old YouTubes to see our ugly mugs there.
Hey, speak for yourself.
And I think that's about it, man. I think we did one.
Another one. Cheers.
Cheers, fellas. Thank you so much.
How about we go get another beer?
Let's go get another beer.
How about I do that again? Cheers. How about we go get another beer?
That is funny.
You can actually understand me.
How
we getting another beer?
I got a beer.